The following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Coming up on Live at 4, Governor-elect J.B. Pritzker greeted and thanked voters Wednesday, fresh off of Tuesday's big win. What he's planning to work on for the state, we'll tell you later. Plus, a shooting in California has left 12 dead at a bar, and one of the people killed has been identified. We'll bring you his story ahead. And snow is on the way. Find out how much we could expect tonight and the next couple of days. That's coming up on Live at 4.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
But first, we have the recent results from the Decision 2018 election. Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. I'm Devin Brooks. In the Illinois gubernatorial race, Democratic candidate J.B. Pritzker will soon be the new governor of Illinois after defeating Republican incumbent Governor Bruce Rauner. Rauner was elected governor in 2014 and was running for a second term. Pritzker won with over 1 million Democratic votes, totaling 54% from the state. In Chicago, he spoke about one of the first items on his agenda as governor, a balanced budget.
The first thing that we're going to start working on is making sure that we actually have a balanced budget in the state. So we're going to be working on putting a budget together and making sure we have our priorities straight and funding the things that really matter in our state.
We also have the recent election results for the Illinois House race in West Central Illinois. Democrat John Curtis and Republican Noreen Hammond of Macomb faced off for the 93rd District. Hammond has held office since December 2010, and she will keep office for her 5th term. She won on Tuesday night with 52% of votes from the 93rd District. Now moving over to the race for the Illinois Attorney General. Republican Attorney Erica Harold conceded to Democratic Senator Kwame Raoul after he gained an advantage of votes. On the ticket was Harold, Raoul, and Libertarian Bubba Hartsey. Out of 86% of precincts voting, Raoul won 54%, Harold 43%, and Hartsey 2%. For the Secretary of State, the seat is currently filled by Democrat Jesse White. His opponents were Republican Jason Helen and Libertarian Steve Duntner. White has held office since 1998. He is now beginning his 7th term. Lastly, in 2018 election coverage for Illinois Comptroller, Democrat Susanna Mendoza won the ticket. She ran against Republican Darlene Singer and Libertarian Claire Ball. Singer conceded to Mendoza an hour after polls closed, says the Chicago Times. In 2016, Mendoza won an election to fill a 2-year term. She was now reelected to serve 4 years. Moving to Storm Team 3 coverage. Snow is on the way, and Molly Naslin is tracking tonight's forecast. Molly, what can we expect tonight?
Devin, unfortunately, we are looking at chances for snow tonight. Now, around 8 p.m. is when those chances start. We'll be at about 32 degrees, which is right at the freezing mark. So any snow flurries that might fall won't stick right away. The humidity will be high, but the winds will be low. So we're looking at this band of moisture that is coming up from the southwest. That is what's going to be bringing our snow, and we will look later on as to whether or not we'll be seeing those flurries sticking around in our area going into tomorrow morning. Back to you, Devin.
All right, thanks, Molly. Sticking with weather coverage, recent frosty temperatures could be a sign for a potentially long winter, and the Illinois Emergency Management Agency agrees. For Winter Weather Preparedness Month, the agency is giving tips to prepare us to stay safe and warm during the cold. When driving in bad weather conditions, keep an emergency supply kit in your car. Items include blankets, food, water, sand, and a cell phone charger. Homeowners are advised to stock emergency supplies in case of power outages. Items include a weather radio, flashlights, batteries, first aid, and foods. A full list of emergency supplies can be found on news3wiu.com. We're learning more about the people killed in a California bar shooting Wednesday night. Jason Kaufman says his son was among the 12 who were shot to death. He says 22-year-old Cody Kaufman was at the Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks. None of the victims have been officially identified yet. But in an emotional interview, Cody's father says he tracked his son's phone to inside the bar and it hasn't moved. His dad says Cody was planning to join the military and was speaking with recruiters from the U.S. military. Police say U.S. Marine veteran Ian David Young opened fire during line dancing and college night. He died inside the bar of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Ventura County Sheriff says Sheriff Sergeant Ron Heelis was also killed. He rushed to the scene moments after the first gunshots were reported at 11:20 p.m. Well, back in Macomb, the city has a new community development director. On Monday evening, the city council voted unanimously to appoint John Bannon to the community development coordinator position. The position has been vacant since Ray Heitner left in September for a job in Iowa City. Community members and loved ones are celebrating the life of a campus minister who recently passed away. News 3's Ryan Hall shows us the legacy this religious man leaves behind.
For over 45 years, the Wesley Foundation has been a part of a campus ministry here at Western Illinois University. And the man who started it all was Ron Siebert, the man who impacted so many lives during his years of service. Ron and his wife Maureen started the Wesley Foundation back in 1972. They began meeting in the basement of the Wesley United Methodist Church. Later on in 1979, Ron purchased the current property where students came together to build something that is more than just a building. It is a place where students gather together to not only grow deeper into their faith, but it is also a great place to meet new people and to know that they are always welcome anytime.
We're just excited and thankful, really grateful that this foundation has continued to help young people throughout all of those years.
In April 2017, Ron and Maureen came back to the Wesley Foundation for a celebration of 45 years of existence. Former and current students also came together to recognize and appreciate the work that Ron and Maureen served and the impact they had on their students.
He was a humble servant, and I think that's what many people strive to be in life, is to be a humble servant. You know, it's just very evident when you listen to Ron and Maureen speak about their years here together, and then also those students that came back for the reunion. You know, Ron served them, and he served them very, very well, and that's why they came back to honor him one more time right here at this location.
Today, the Wesley Foundation is still going strong with the many benefits and services it has received over the years and hopes to encourage students and community members to be a part of this legacy for many years to come. Reporting for News 3, I'm Ryan Hall.
Ron and Maureen served as directors at the Wesley Foundation for 20 years. They both retired in 1992. Well, big news for the Macomb Park District. On Tuesday, the Mortem Arboretum's Community Trees program awarded the city of Macomb a $15,000 federal forestry grant. This grant will help the Park District plant approximately 150 trees around the city and in Macomb parks. There is no information on when the Park District will begin planting. Well, if you are looking for new music, then look no further. The Music Business Artist Development class will be hosting Showcase at Sundown tonight at 8. Doors open at 7:30 at the Multicultural Center. Artists include Invoxicated, Lone Daisy, G and Corley, and Cordell from the Guitar Shop. This event is free and open to the public. For more information, you can visit Showcase at Sundown's event page on Facebook. This weekend, an annual event will take place in Macomb. The annual Ultrasa Holiday Bazaar will be this Saturday at 9 a.m. This event will be held at the Macomb Senior High School and will feature crafts, gifts, and over 100 vendors. The event is free and open to the public. Well, coming up right after the break. Next on Live at 4, could half of your body mass be shortening your lifespan? Find out in today's Health Minute.
National Broadcasting Society helps the future of broadcasting get the tools needed to succeed in an ever-growing media world. At Western Illinois University, the professional connections students bring to our chapter of NBS have opened doors to networking possibilities that students otherwise wouldn't have. The opportunities we are given as students at WIU allow us to make connections today for success tomorrow.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
I chose Western Illinois University because I could get involved right away. You're going to gain experience. I'm going to be able to just become successful right out the gate. I'll be a news reporter and eventually become a news anchor one day. I've always felt that as a strong speaker, I could be a voice for the voiceless, but as long as I continue to believe in myself, work hard, and show that I want to put my best foot forward, I think that anything is possible.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 continues.
And welcome back. Flags of Love is back this weekend, and volunteers still have the opportunity to help. Flags of Love is an annual event for the Macomb community to display flags of the United States that represent deceased military veterans. This event will take place this Saturday at 7 o'clock a.m. in Chandler Park. For more information, visit news3wyu.com. Tonight, a soldier and combat photographer will share his wartime experience. Vietnam Through My Lens is a show written and performed by STU Rachel. Rachel tours the country sharing how he ended up in Vietnam and the ways his experience on the battlefield shaped his life. The show begins at 7:30 tonight and will be held in the Horben Theater. General admission to the show is $15. Active duty service members and veterans will be admitted for free. Well, your body mass index could actually impact how long you will live. A new report by scientists at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine linked a body mass index that is either too high or too low to a shorter lifespan. Reporter Meredith Wood tells us more in today's Health Minute.
You may already know that being overweight comes with a slew of health issues that can shorten lives. But new research shows that being underweight increases the risk of dying early too. BMI, or body mass index, is one indicator doctors use to measure a person's health. BMI between 21 and 25 is linked to the lowest level of morbidity. Interestingly, people under the recommended BMI are at an increased risk for dementia, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, and suicide. The study analyzed data from 3.6 million people and over 360,000 deaths. Obesity was shown to reduce lifespan by 4.2 years for men and 3.5 years for women. And what's worse, if this trend continues, obesity will be the most common cause of cancer in women by the year 2043. That's according to Cancer Research UK. To reduce your risk of developing any health condition, it's important to keep your body mass index in the healthy range. You can do that by getting proper nutrition and incorporating exercise into your daily routine. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
In October, we told you about 10 cases of a rare neurological disease called acute flaccid myelitis in Illinois, but now there are 16 cases of people suspected to have the disease. AFM is a polio-like disease causing paralysis mostly in children. There has been 404 confirmed cases of the disease across the U.S. It was initially found in northern Illinois, but now has appeared in central Illinois. The IDPH encourages anyone to report suspected cases to their local health department. Well, news we just got into our newsroom. The opening of Chick-fil-A in the University Union has been delayed. University Relations says it's due to technology-related issues during the renovation. The opening is now scheduled for spring 2019. Well, after the break, Storm Team 3 has your weather update. That's coming up next. Stay tuned.
On Tuesday, November 6th,
our state will be making some important decisions.
You might think it's not important,
or your vote doesn't matter.
But that's not true.
If you don't know how
or where to register,
visit vote.gov.
Make your voice heard.
Create your success at Western Illinois University. Automatic scholarships and affordable education and more are all yours at Western Illinois University. Apply today at wiu.edu.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
I want to be able to stand in front of the camera and tell people the story of what the weather's going to be like that day, or be able to tell people, hey, there's something coming your way, you need to take cover, you need to watch out. And being able to stand in front of a camera and tell not only people who are directly involved but their family members as well, like, this is what's going on. It's been very important to me because, you know, being in those situations where you are relying on the news to tell you what's going on, I like to be a part of that and helping people with that. Good afternoon and welcome back. Right now our temperature is about 35 degrees, so not quite freezing yet, but we are getting down close to those temperatures. Humidity is at 74%. Again, that's going to go up as we move into the evening. Winds are gentle out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour. Now that's bringing in some of that colder air that's going to be fueling our possible snow showers that we will get to later. We're below average for what we see for this time of year. We're closer to what our low is, but we're going to be getting a little bit lower than that tonight. We have had a record low of -1. We're not going to be getting around that quite yet. This divide between the gray and the green that you're seeing on the screen is called a rain-snow line. Now, if this rain-snow line shifts to the north just a little bit, this means that we'll see less snow and more rain in our forecast tonight. But if that rain-snow line dips just a little bit more south, then we're likely to see more snow than rain tonight. And with that snow, we're likely to see accumulation along with it. That massive moisture that we're keeping an eye on is down to the southwest, moving up. But for our regional temperatures tonight, again, right now we're about 35 degrees from Macomb. Beardstown sitting at 36. Everyone across the region is sitting right about freezing at this point in time, even though it is still somewhat early in the evening. Tonight we're going to get well below freezing at 28 degrees, 30 in Beardstown. There's a couple places hovering right around that freezing mark, but they are most likely south of that rain-snow line that we mentioned earlier. Tomorrow, not quite as warm, unfortunately, with a high of 36. This is a high of 36. We're seeing some more winter-like temperatures as we go into your Friday. Beardstown at 38 and Quincy at 38 as well. Tomorrow night is when we're really going to feel the freeze with 16 degrees for a low, 18 in Beardstown and 18 in Keokuk. If it were me, I wouldn't want to go out Friday night, but if you do, make sure hat, gloves, and everything. Tonight, we're going to see snow showers likely with a low of 28 again, up to 2 inches possible. Now, whether or not that remains throughout the night will depend on how warm we get into the next day. Again, snow is likely into tomorrow. This is something going in from midnight into tomorrow with, again, a high of 16 degrees. For your 5-day forecast, snow for Friday, Saturday, a little bit colder but sunny skies. Sunday is when we start to see that bit of a warm up again with 44 and some more sun. Monday, we're having a chance for some snow in the forecast again with a low of 18. And Tuesday, we'll be seeing sunny skies again, but not quite as warm. And that's typically due to the lack of clouds. If there's clouds in the sky, it means it will be a little bit warmer. If there's no clouds, we're typically a little bit cooler, even with the sun in the sky.
So you know how much snow we're expecting, Hannah?
There's a lot of models that are saying a lot of different things. Some are saying a dusting, some are saying up to 2 inches. It all depends on that rain-snow line that we mentioned earlier and where that's going to end up as we go into midnight.
Yeah, I saw somebody with shorts today. I was like, what in the world? But things are moving indoors for sports.
Yeah, Devin, you're totally right. Coming up next on Live at 4, we have a recap on the court and a look forward to football on Saturday. First WIU women's basketball team facing a top 25 team in the country at Western Hall. Mizzou looking to take an early statement on the road. Highlights from that one, plus one last road trip for Sean McGuire and the Western Illinois football team. A trip to Vermillion, South Dakota to stay alive in playoff contention. Find out your need-to-know info for kickoff next in sports. I started to think about doing broadcasting my freshman year. I started calling some football games for the freshman football team. My high school didn't really have a broadcasting program like some do, and so a lot of my stuff was just PA for different sports, for basketball, for volleyball. And my mom signed me up for a visit to come to Western on a Discover Western day. And I walked through the doors of the rec center, and Buzz Hoon shook my hand, said, "Zach Stone, I've seen all your footage, I know who you are, and you belong here." And that's what really makes WIU feel like home.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
The first time I met Morris, the door flew open and I got this larger-than-life personality talking at the top of his lungs.
Hey, how you doing today?
Oh, man. Oh, I totally forgot. Hold on, let me get this for you. Oh. Just had a magnetic energy. So I thought, all right, we're definitely going to be friends.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch!
Why I love to do sports anchoring? Because, I mean, it's talking about sports. I decided to come to Western because I wanted an experience that wasn't like some other schools. I did color commentary for one volleyball game. I was terrified. I never did any broadcasting in high school, but when I was talking, it was all, staggered, and I had no idea what I was saying, and now I've done so many different games as a color commentator, play-by-play, now sports anchor. Every show and every game, it gets easier and easier, and I get more comfortable doing it.
Welcome back to Live at 4. I'm Zach Stone. The WIU women's volleyball team have been in quite a rut. Only 2 wins on the season going into their Tuesday night match with Omaha, but it was going to be heartbreak for the women. The last chance to string 2 wins along all season. Again, like I said, heartbreak for the women who, after going up 2 sets, fall back, lose 3 straight, and fall at home to the Omaha Mavericks. They will need to regroup as team number 1 in the Summit, Denver, visits tomorrow night. That game will be on ESPN 3 at 7 p.m. Look out for those highlights on our website over the weekend. And Western Illinois men's basketball getting their first regular season game underway with 2 Summit League's second team all selections. The Leathernecks were on the road for game number 1 at Creighton. And it would be a rough night for the Purple and Gold again. After taking the lead early in the first half, the WIU Leathernecks were unable to hold on, falling to the Blue Jays 78-67. Kobe Webster, a Summit League second team selection, in the postseason, played well to start his sophomore season. 24 points alongside 3 assists and a steal for the 6-foot guard. The men are going to have to turn around quick, though. Game number 1 at Western Hall for the Leathernecks against North Park is set for Saturday at 2 p.m. And after starting their season with 2 exhibition wins, the Leatherneck women's basketball team had a tough test at home. I was talking about that a little bit earlier on. Nationally ranked Mizzou making the 3-hour drive to Macomb and Western Hall. Lauren Aldridge, one of the 2 seniors on the Mizzou roster that are going to give JD and his team some trouble. You're going to see it right away here. Kick to the corner. Aldridge from deep. It's good. Look at the replay, guys. Oh, man. The kick inside, back outside. That's 2 seniors, and it's wet. Down the court, it's Olivia Kaufman on the other side. She cuts to the left. And look at the raindrop, folks. I've got replays rolling back all through this. She's going to lift it up and drop it home. Again, Mizzou on the way back this time. Jordan Roundtree strips the ball right away from Taylor Higginbotham, goes coast to coast, and knocks it home. Mizzou would regroup in the huddle, already in the lead, but they're trying to create a difference here. Again, a move inside. All-American Sophie Cunningham through the middle and leaving it at home. And this would really be the dagger, folks. Hannah Schutz knocks home the mid-range jumper, and WIU is really going to miss a couple of their seniors who they lost last year. JD sitting on the bench there looking pretty upset too. Ultimately, the Tigers would be too much for WIU to handle. Sophie Cunningham Living up to the early season hype, the senior who had national attention led Mizzou with 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals. And I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record with this statement, but WIU football, 2 games left on the season, and Jared Elliott's team have been battling every single weekend with the FCS playoffs closing in. After being outscored by the Salukis 31-14 over the last 3 quarters, or excuse me, the first 3 quarters of last week's game, it looked like the Leathernecks were going to wind down their season with 2 meaningless games left to play. But Jared Elliott has been talking about this team's relentless effort all season long, and his players prove that they can walk the walk when their coach talks the talk. A Sam Crosa field goal alongside a rushing touchdown from Steve McShane with a passing touchdown from McGuire as well in the final quarter put the Leathernecks in a great spot with 20 seconds left to play. Sam Crosa would ultimately split the uprights with just under 10 seconds left for a hard-fought 34-31 win. 2 left to play for WIU, and this week's game is the most important of those 2 in my opinion. The Leathernecks have a long road trip to take, 450 miles, the distance between the University of South Dakota and Vermilion and the campus of Western Illinois. Kickoff to keep their playoff hopes alive is set for 1 p.m. on Saturday. That's sports. Find out which crafty business has opened on the square after the break.
I learned broadcasting for 3 years in high school, so towards my senior year, I was pretty much invested in wanting to pursue a career. And I do enjoy it now, but I'm searching for a way to make sure that it's something that I want to pursue after college. That way, I'll be able to wake up every day and say, this is something I want to do, this is something that I love, this is something that I can teach, I can spread, I can affect people with.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
I was living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Business is on the Macomb downtown square. The Crafty Coop celebrated its opening with a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Wednesday. Owner Lacey Todd opened the business so community members can paint their own individual pre-made pottery pieces. If you'd like updates on Crafty Coop, you can follow them on their Facebook page. Well, Molly, everyone wants to know about this cold and the snow.
We do have some cold temperatures coming up, and we do have that chance for snow from midnight tonight going into your Friday morning. Now, the chances of how much we'll be seeing is still up in the air just a little bit. Depends on where that rain-snow line ends up, but definitely going to be a cold one tomorrow night.
All right, we know you'll keep us up to date. Well, that's all for us today, but we are online all the time. Stay up to date with us, news3wiu.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search our handle, News3WIU. You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
From all of us at News 3, have a good night, Macomb.